into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers. It's Stephanie Giorgi, and you are watching Spotlight On with Calvin Scruby. Before we get started, go ahead and follow me on Twitter at Stephanie Giorgi, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to our page below or at youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. TV. Find us on SoundCloud and on iTunes. Rate us 5 stars. Leave us comments. Let us know what you think, even if it's bad or good, whatever it is. Help us out so that we can bring you more. And when I say more, I do mean more talented artists like Cal Scruby, not Scrubby Scruby. Don't get it twisted. I got that from one of your interviews.
That's right. I'm used to that. So.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We're so happy to have you.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. So my favorite thing about newer artists is the element of surprise that you guys have to offer. Whether it be sound, style, artistry, it's something fresh, something new. With you, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, good-looking white kid, rapper.
Oh, thank you.
From Cincinnati, Ohio. And I was like, okay, let me hear this music. And then I listened to Gold Coins, and you weren't playing young, but with that futuristic, what is it? That super futuristic flow. There you go.
Right.
The Kill was dope. And then my favorite was All for Ohio, where you killed it. Just killed it, repped it perfectly.
Thank you.
I understand that you just graduated from Ohio State.
Yes.
So when did you get started with all of this? Because I feel,
it took me a little while to finally graduate, but it was probably about my sophomore, junior year at Ohio State that I actually really started to get into music, and then it was probably 2 years after that before I took it serious, a career. But I was just taking engineering courses at Ohio State.
Okay.
I was teaching computer programming, and then I started making music. So I had this full plate. So I had to ditch one, and the one that I didn't like was my engineering courses. So I let that go. So I changed to a communications major, kept making music, kept progressing in the music industry, and then end up here.
How did you recognize your talent? Were you in school doing it? Did you do it when you were younger, playing around?
Well, when I was in 8th grade, I was at a friend's house, and we had a karaoke machine, and so we would pass it around and do little one-liners, little 2 bars, and kind of make fun of each other and stuff. And so I said some things that probably weren't too nice. We had some girls and stuff, and we were just kind of picking on people and stuff. But fast forward about 8 years later, and I was just drinking on a porch with my friends, like you do in college, and they kind of just got me to rap. We would freestyle a little bit, and then I started writing a little bit. And I had a buddy named Mark who was like, "Dude, you just got to do it. You just got to make something. You got to do whatever." So I took about 2 weeks. Went to the library at Ohio State has a soundproof room. It's called the Whisper Room. So I just recorded my whole project, mixed that thing down, put it out, and it got a good response. So I kept doing it.
Was that Best Foot Forward?
That was Best Foot Forward.
That was best. Okay, nice. I know.
So that was the beginning. Yeah.
That was the beginning. That's awesome. How was your college experience doing all of that? Did you get any hype for it? Did people know about you?
Yeah, I think I dropped a video. There's this girl named Navy back at Ohio State who can beatbox like crazy, and so we dropped this little video.
Right on the stair steps.
Yeah, and I got some buzz. And then I dropped this song that I did about Ohio State because I have so much pride in the state and in the school. So that got some good buzz, and it got picked up by Jared Solinger, who played basketball there, plays for the Celtics now and stuff. So it kind of started a little buzz, and so that fan base, that Ohio State fan base, is so large that I kind of benefited from that and then grew from there. Yeah.
You're very lucky because I feel like it did kind of pick up quickly, right? I mean, I always say that if you have the talent, if you're supposed to be somewhere out there, that it'll happen.
Right.
However, what are the influences? What is it that you just did you just want to rap, or did you have a certain artist that you're like, man, I kind of like how he sounds, let me try?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't even want to be a rapper growing up. You know what I mean? I kind of went through the whole doctor, lawyer, engineer, whatever. I guess when I was 8 years old, I wanted to be like a ninja or Ninja Turtle or Power Ranger, or whatever. I just kind of went through the progression. But I mean, when I've always liked music. I guess when I started thinking maybe I could do it I was listening to Wale LA like late in my high school years, and he just had so many pop culture references that I recognized that I felt like I understood and other people didn't. So that's what it made it fun for me. So like when I started to come up with my own lines, I was like, I get this, and once people finally like get this, if people can really like recognize what I'm saying,
right?
yeah, then they're gonna get that same feeling that I got from listening to that
Yes.
stuff.
Actually, you know what? I can honestly say I had that with All for Ohio just from the beginning. I was 22 when I started rapping. Now I'm 24 and I haven't started stacking. Like, and it cracked me up because when I heard that, I felt like I came to Los Angeles probably around 22, 23, and it's just one of those things where you have to kind of progress, and then you start feeling pressure upon yourself, right?
Absolutely.
And to start doing it. Do you sing at all?
I try to sing. Yeah.
Okay.
I never really did it in the past. It was kind of strictly rapping, but like as you progress as an artist, I feel like you have to start to like add to your your repertoire. So I mean, I've started to really dig into like melodies and so when you're like stacking hooks, like when you put a bunch of vocal layers and stuff, you can really make something that sounds cool, even if you can't necessarily hit all the notes exactly how you're supposed to.
Exactly.
So.
Who do you think you sound like? The first time I showed one of my best friends, and she's completely into rap, into music. Huge fan of Eminem. Sorry to use a comparison, but
it's okay. That happens.
You know, it's
that
besides him and Bubba Sparks is like the last good like white rappers that I could think of. Could you actually put a picture just on the background here of Josh in the studio? It's like a single one of him. We got Josh in the back room, guys. But what she said that there it is, hard at work. She said animated. You sound similar to, like it was a cross between Drake as far as delivery goes, and then Atmosphere with your sound. Are you familiar with Atmosphere?
Yeah, I am familiar with
Okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of liked that she made that comparison because it stuck to me.
Right, and that's cool because it's like a commercial and an underground mixture. You know, it kind of brings the best of both worlds, so that's cool.
Nice.
That's nice.
Do you like that, or is that a little bit of...
I mean, I think artists, you welcome comparisons from artists that you admire, of course, you know, but it does...
Where's this at?
This is in the hills on the valley side, I guess. I'm still getting familiar with the territories, but this is like Studio City area. Our friend Tarek, he's got a great looking studio up there, so we spent about 4 or 5 days up there a couple weeks ago and made a lot of new stuff that I'm excited about, excited to share eventually.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in just a second. Yeah. So as far, you were just rapping in college, and then you're now signed by Riveting Entertainment, correct?
Yes.
How did that happen?
I had a show in May of last year in Cincinnati.
I mean, real quick, so you didn't even have to leave Ohio. That's the best part.
I
applaud you for that, because how many people have to come to the city just to get picked up?
Right. And so I was in Ohio, and we had the show in Cincinnati on Fountain Square, and it's a free show, so there's a big turnout. And after the show, I went to the bar, and we were just like kind of relaxing, having a good time. And our friend Scott introduced me to his buddy Andrew, and Andrew says, I own a video production company in LA, and you could probably hear my eyes roll because you hear so much of that stuff in the industry. You're like, yeah, I'm sure I'm sure you know this person, that person. And I was like, oh yeah, like what's it called? He's like, Riveting. I was familiar with Riveting, Colin Tilley videos, the whole like Chris Brown, Look at Me Now, like those guys have been doing.
So when you heard that, you said what?
Yeah. So my eyes stopped rolling at the time. Yeah, and everything kind of just changed. So he actually gave me his phone, but he gave me his like iPhone notes. So he didn't give me like his contact info. So we didn't exchange real info. I was like calscruby.com and @calscruby, and so I didn't think anything would ever come of it.
If he was serious or anything?
Yeah, I didn't think anything would come of it. And then so he hit up a mutual friend of ours like 2 days later and wanted to get on a call and talk about some stuff. So obviously he listened to it and liked it. So it's funny how it comes out, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, I actually have a funny story about that, and I asked because when I know some of the people at Riveting, and they were speaking about that first time that they met you and how they're like, well, we're leaving Ohio and they meant to do other things, but at least if anything we got this this white kid from Ohio that raps. And then they all they joke about it now because you blew up. It became exactly what they wanted, and apparently other people have heard you, and I'm not the only person that thinks that decided to fill you out, if you will, hear some of the things you're working on to see if maybe they want to collaborate. Are there any collaborations collaborations that you might want to do in the future?
I think you want to work with all the artists that you really admire. There's also people with just like such a unique sound that you know that if you were to collaborate on a record, it would make something really interesting. You know, like
specifically, because what do you hear yourself in?
I love R&B, and people don't know that. So like when you said you sing, it's like that's why I try to sing. I like R&B, so like I grew up on R&B a lot. So like I mean Akon and T-Pain, like I like that stuff a lot. But you know we've been around Chris a lot lately, Chris Brown, and
that was exciting. How did you feel about that the first time?
I mean, it's pretty shocking, to be honest. Like, you know, the guy's, to be real, he's probably the best entertainer in the last 30 years.
Right.
You know,
and I understand. I know that he has like a bad, you know, rep or whatever. I have to say, Chris Brown's my guilty pleasure. Everything he does, everything, you know, is on point. It's perfect. I dance, and I'm a dancer, so like he's like my go-to for everything.
Yeah. You know,
that's
people,
pretty amazing.
There's always a scapegoat when it comes to the media.
Exactly.
They need to pick on somebody, and you know, the more I get to know him, the better he seems. You know, he's a good guy. He really is.
I'm glad that you think that. Do you have anything in, or actually, can we put a picture up of Calvin and Chris Brown just to give everyone some visuals?
Yeah, this is on the set of Don't Kill the Fun. He did this record with Seven. Seven Streeter, that's his artist. And yeah, that's a crazy video. And he painted all this stuff. The guy's a crazy
I know, he
artist.
just did a mural at the Grammy Museum in LA Live. That is pretty incredible.
Yeah, and he did the offices at Riveting too. And
I heard.
It's crazy. The guy's got so much talent. But
okay, so from the time that you met Andrew and got into Riveting till this point right now, how long has it been?
Let's see. I guess we met end of May, and then I came out here first time in July, so it's been about 6 months, just over 6 months.
6 months, y'all. Yeah. Look at that. Hey, but that's a hustle. That's what's up.
It is.
And I feel proud of you.
Thank you.
Like, I'm so happy for all of that. How have the rest of like your Los Angeles experience then, since you just got here? Was it the first time you being in California?
No, I came out here in 2011 for a friend's birthday, just for a weekend. And you know, I mean, it was shocking at the time, just the mountains and everything. Like back in Ohio, there's nothing like it. It's like mountains in Ohio and mountains out here. And obviously, like the blue sky every day is kind of a lot different. So the weather's great. The traffic sucks, like everybody says. But I don't have a car, so
you're kind of chilling right now.
Yeah, so I'm all right. I'll catch an Uber when the traffic dies down. But I'm good. Yeah.
That's good. Do you feel like you've been learning a lot since you've been here working with people?
Absolutely.
I have another picture of the one with Ariana Grande in it. Josh, please. So what was this about? That's another artist.
This is Tarek, and this is the co-star in her new video coming out. But this was a couple weeks ago at Tarek's place in the Hills, and she came through and did some voiceover stuff. She's a sweetheart. She's a very nice girl, very down to earth, and I mean, it's just cool to see like how these people work.
Absolutely.
Especially, you know, behind the scenes is very cool, but even like on set, it's cool to see like all the stuff that goes into it, like what Riveting puts into it, what the artist puts into it. You know, there's a lot more than what people actually see. Like people see the final product, but there's so much more behind the scenes.
Everything that's in between, so whether they like it or they don't.
Right.
I mean, how many tracks that exist in the world that we haven't heard yet?
Right.
Like when Tupac left and came back with some stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Everybody's got a catalog, and so you have no idea the kind of stuff that people are waiting on. Right. It's crazy.
And Josh, can you go ahead and put up the last picture, please? With Mike Epps. There you go. So I was just gonna say, you know, you really have been. I feel like that'd be so motivating to kind of want to work forward. Have you been able to play around with anybody? Like, did you ever get a flow a little bit with Chris, jokingly?
Yeah, I mean, Chris has heard my stuff, and he shared my stuff on Twitter, which was a pretty cool moment because you know he's got quite a fan base. Right. So yeah, I mean, it's nice like when I know that my music is getting in the ears of people who can like make a big difference. Yeah, a quick difference. It was cool when Mike came through a couple weeks ago because he comes through and we're playing some stuff and he's rocking, and that guy's hilarious. Right. He's in that the new Chris Brown Tyga AO
he's
video.
He's the cop.
Yeah, he's the cop and he's hilarious. So I mean that guy's crazy. So he's pretty awesome though. That was a cool moment.
That's good. Yeah. I'm excited, and honestly, it's very impressive. So like, congratulations to you because you know to be able to do that, and not to mention be a college graduate because that's you know you still finished your education.
That's what my parents are most proud of.
Of course, you know, and Absolutely, and that's what it is for most parents. So now you can continue this part of your life and your career without like stress, and you're like, don't worry, plan A was finished. Now I'm on plan B right now.
Exactly.
Okay, so now plans for the future. I hear that you have an EP coming out?
Yes, we have a tentative date that I'm not going to share yet, and we have some collaborative products in the works. So it's still coming together, and we're still touching it up and everything. But we've made some major steps in the last few weeks, and we're going to start the marketing, start the videos on it and everything, and make a big push. So
are you excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's really new. It's like,
is it anything? Is it like Gold Coins, All for Ohio? Is it all
like
new?
Nothing. Yeah, it's like nothing that I've done before, and that's the cool thing. Is like I felt like I've never really.
You're getting to nurture your creativity here, right?
I'm creating my own sound, you know, and I never got to do that before. I never had the resources to do that, so it was like when I first started rapping, it was kind of just like I'd get a beat and I'd rap on a beat, and now I feel like we're making more music than just rapping.
Like you're producing the beats now,
well,
and now
I'm not producing
but I mean you're around it.
But we're around it, so we have like an influence on that, and we can kind of like pick and choose instruments and whatever. So it's cool to like feel like we have more control over the music, and we can create, you know, a more specific product. So
that's awesome.
It's a great feeling.
How many tracks are on the EP?
We're thinking 6 to 8.
6 to 8, okay.
But the catalog is growing every time we're in the studio. So you know, there's really up until the due date, then it's probably going to keep changing a little bit, just because I like all the new stuff. Everything that's today is cooler to me than yesterday. So
okay,
so the progression is fun. Yeah.
That's good. So. And that's another, like I just said, that Los Angeles, and I've said this so many times before in like my other shows, that's what I love about the city, is that it does allow you to like nurture your talent and kind of go into it more. Do you feel that you have the freedom to try random things that you might have been embarrassed to do in Ohio?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, and especially because I have the talent around me to make it sound good. You know what I mean? Like, so I can kind of experiment a little bit, and it's not going to come out like it would if I was doing it all myself.
Right.
You know, so.
And then it just would have been kind of silly, but now you have help.
Yeah, it's cool. There's such an abundance of talent here, you know, like if you can't.
The city provides.
Yeah, if you can't work with one person, then somebody else is available, and everybody's working out here. That's what they're out here for. Like if you're not working out here, you get sent back to wherever you were. Exactly. So I'm not trying to go back to Ohio. So.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah, that's right.
And I hear also a tour planned.
We're working on it. We're working on finalizing that. So that
would you be? I mean, you don't have to tell me which artist that you'd be opening for, but is it just you? Are you going with someone?
We're looking at going with another artist. We're looking at March and April, but we're still finalizing all that stuff. I mean, regardless of whatever happens with that, as soon as we drop a project, we're gonna start to really plan dates and try to get out to the cities where I feel like I have a lot of fans, and I feel like they really want me to come.
How does that work? Have you identified those fans? I mean, people who talk to you, do they tell you like that you inspire them? Have they heard like lyrics that are just dope? Or
yeah, it's cool. Like
I even tweeted you with lyrics one day. From All for Ohio.
Right. No, that's great. That's my favorite part. You know, that's the one thing that I like about social media is being able to interact with other people that that care about your craft and whatever, and want to see you succeed, or you somehow change their life. You know, it's funny. Like I don't feel like you never feel like an inspiration until people tell you exactly
what it was.
Yeah, exactly how it changed their life. So that's a pretty special feeling when I remember like when the first person said it. That was like a super shock, you know. And so I mean, I think every day that stuff kind of like happens more and more. And so does the negative stuff. So does like the negative things on Twitter, like,
which I think sometimes humbles us a little.
It does, yeah. And it's kind of I don't think anybody's like born with thick skin. You know? I think like not caring about what other people think is like an acquired trait.
Absolutely.
So I'm working on that trait, and it's definitely like I laugh at that stuff a lot more than I used to.
Right. Well, the internet provides all sides of how everyone feels.
Right. All anonymous feelings.
It's okay. I got some haters too out there. Don't worry.
Yeah, we all do. That means you're doing something right.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. And I always say that if everybody likes you, you're fake, because you're showing a different side of you every single time.
And they don't really know you anyways.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
That's good. What else do you have? Like, are you excited to do anything else? I mean, we just have our music videos and this tour.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is going to be a big year, just because like Riveting's doing so many big things right now.
I mean, 2014 was a big year if you think about it, right? Because this year just started.
Yeah. They're in Miami right now, shooting behind the scenes for Chris on his tour, which is about to start, I think, like tomorrow. So yeah, they're doing enormous things, and that helps me. Like in turn, that always helps. But yeah, I mean, we have so many resources we're starting to really tap into, and I just can't wait to share new music because that always helps everything.
Absolutely.
That always helps. So.
What is your favorite? With what's out right now, what's your favorite?
You mean of like my songs?
Of your songs right now, yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's funny. Like all the ones that people like the most, they're not my favorites. You know,
really?
But I guess.
What's the one that has the hook that said, "Oops, I done made a hook on accident"?
Oh yeah, Justin Bieber.
Yeah, that one's good.
I like that stuff. That was fun for me because you know people will try to make that a negative thing. They'll be like, "Oh, Justin Bieber looking, whatever." I'm like, I don't care. I don't care how I look. Just listen to the record.
You know what? And how do you? Let's talk about the lyrics for "Fucks with Me."
Okay.
Okay. So you say, I don't got tattoos, but they still like.
Yeah.
How do you like? Are you about that tattoo life, or
No, I mean, I'm not.
I like this look. I like that you look the way that you do, and that you're a rapper, and you're like, and what?
Yeah.
You know, like
I'm not your typical rapper, I guess, but.
But it's like I said, the element of surprise, y'all. That's the best part.
No, I mean, I feel like the only way I would get a tattoo is if my mom passed. But
do you have any?
But I don't have
no
any.
tattoos.
I have zero.
I
have zero. I'll probably get some stick-ons. Yes,
we have pure skin.
That's right. But no, I mean, I think the only I'd probably get, because she has a few quotes that always stick with me. But actually, if that happened, to honor her, I just wouldn't get a tattoo because I don't think she'd want me to get one anyway. So,
I thought I was going to for my grandmother, and my grandmother, being grandmother, would say like tattoos started in prison. I'm like, no, they didn't. But I will not get one just for you.
No, I think I don't know. I don't think that there will ever come a time when I do it. I think I passed my rebellious stage. You know? Like I was supposed to get a tattoo when I was 18 or something.
Exactly, and now you're just like,
now
I'm good
too
right
old,
now.
You know, I can't do it.
Not too old yet. Are you experimenting with your style at all?
I mean, yeah.
Has anyone asked you to kind of switch it up, or?
Well, coming out here is just changing.
It does.
Things,
changes the whole game.
Yeah, because even like the same stores out here back home, they're not the same.
Right.
You know,
like they don't even have the same merchandise.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't. So, and I might wear some stuff back home that people are like, what is that? We don't see that over here, but I kind of like that too. You know?
Right.
I mean, because I just wear whatever I'm comfortable with. It's like you can try to put me in whatever clothes, but I'm not gonna wear them. I'm not gonna go out in public wearing that stuff unless I actually feel it. Yeah, unless it's becoming me. So I mean, it's just like the music. It's like there's a progression in fashion and everything too. So the more comfortable I get with stuff, the more I'll dive into it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there anything about people out here that you like and don't like? How's that? Because it's a huge difference.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't generalize LA. Like I can't say that like everyone in LA is like this or California is like this or whatever. I do like. I mean, people are kind out here. They're kind of more accepting out here, but you don't hear very many excuse me's or people when I
manners. Yeah, they don't exist.
One of my biggest pet peeves. I hold the door for people a lot, and one of my biggest pet peeves is when
says thank you.
Yeah, it's just look at me, acknowledge me, smile at me or something. I'm like, this isn't my job. I'm just doing this because that's like kind interaction. I feel like everybody should kind of do that kind of stuff. But I don't get as many thank yous out here as I do back in Cincinnati or pleases or anything like that. But it's okay. I mean, I can't blame it on LA. It's not just LA.
It's a little bit LA.
It's a little bit LA.
I've been living here for 2 years, so I don't care. I'm gonna say what I want to say.
Yeah, but I mean,
no, because I lived in Virginia, which that's your background, right? Your family's from Virginia.
Yeah.
I mean, chivalry just completely existed over there.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely hold on to any chivalry you have because it'll take you very far.
Absolutely.
And don't make any songs talking about how you don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah. But sometimes that's that the scrubby side of me. That's the scrubby side. Is the side that's like, all right, I'm gonna get a little mean. I'm gonna get a little mad.
Do you have like an alter ego kind of
just
thing, or what's because do people say scrubby a lot?
Yeah, it's like telemarketers.
Right.
Telemarketers always call, and they're like,
is this Calvin Scruby?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, no, I don't know who that is. But I mean, it kind of just like it happens so often that I kind of embrace it. It's like whatever. I don't even care anymore.
Right.
It's all the same thing. It's all directed towards me, so it's cool as long as it's not negative. But I mean, it really kind of became not like an alter ego, but whenever I start to get mad and that flow speeds up, that's the scrubby side.
That's the scrubby side. Okay, so it's a little bit. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's an attitude. Yeah, definitely.
That's what's up. Well, thank you so much for coming. I hope that we kind of covered everything that we wanted to. For everyone who's watching the interview and who starts to watch the interview, where can they find you on social media?
Oh, well, let's confuse them. Cal Scruby on Twitter and Cal Scrubby on Instagram. So yeah, that'll help clear it up, right?
That twisted in really nice.
Yeah, but 2 B's on Instagram and 1 B on Twitter.
Okay, y'all heard that. And also, if you want to take a look at more of Cal's information, his bio, his music, go to calscruby.com. Yeah, that's where they can find you. And you can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Giorgi and on Instagram at SteffiG47. Later, don't forget to leave comments on this video. Let us know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be more than happy to ask him for you guys. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching, and thank you for joining us, Cal.
Thank you for having me.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.